discussing the issues that make Phoenix a world-class city. Now, On the Issues.
Welcome to On the Issues. I'm Councilman Tom Simplot. On today's show, we'll talk to the president and CEO of the Phoenix Suns, continue our series of highlighting historic neighborhoods, and learn about community outreach programs offered by the Phoenix Fire Department. We'll get a quarterly update on the Phoenix real estate market, and to end the show, we'll find out about recent improvements to Metro's Park and Ride in Central Phoenix. My first guest may not be the most well-known member of the Phoenix Suns team, but he is definitely the one to talk to as the Suns season comes to a close. Please welcome President and CEO of the Suns, Rick Welts. Rick, thank you for being here.
Great to be here. Thanks.
So here we are, end of a season. What's your take? How was this season for you?
Well, I think we went into it with a lot of unknowns, and we kind of ended with still
a lot of unknowns.
Yeah, we do. I think we're going to take a lot of what happened this season into the off season as real positives. But for a Phoenix Suns team to be in that 500 range, winning half their games, is not something that our fans are accustomed to, or not something that's going to be satisfactory for us going forward.
And as president and CEO of the Suns, you must have heard the feedback. I mean, last summer with the big trades, you lost Amare, and then let's face it, the first few guys you got in just didn't really mesh.
Well, it takes a while. It's basketball is a 5-player game, and unlike some other sports where really it's a combination of individual acts that make up the game, basketball is so interwoven that it does take time for the chemistry to develop in a team. And we tried a lot of different things this year. When things weren't working, we made a big trade. That's actually worked out really well for us.
And I think a real fan favorite.
It is.
A couple of fan favorites.
And I think looking forward, those are some of the real positives we're going to take, but we've got some work to do this summer.
Yeah. How is that related to fan support?
We have the most amazing fan base in the league, and it's one of our real secret weapons because this has always been a really attractive location for free agents who have the ability to decide where they want to come play. And that's going to be part of the secret sauce, over the course of the next year or two in trying to put together another championship caliber team, is attracting players who are at that stage in their contract where they do have an opportunity to choose where they're going to play.
Interesting. So this summer, the goal is to keep the fans engaged.
We don't have that problem. We have, we actually have as many people who came to U.S. Airways Center this year as came last year. We have, across the league, I think generally regarded the most supportive fan base. We have, interestingly, the longest tenured fan base too, because the average length of time that our season ticket holders have held their seats is really the longest in the league, which says,
really?
There's kind of an amazing loyalty out there, even with all the new residents that come in and sample NBA basketball in Phoenix. We really have a great base that we build on every year.
Let's talk a little bit about other things that you've brought into the Sun since you've been there. Metro Light Rail. You're the only team in the country, right? With a deal with a light rail or a transit system?
Yeah, I spent 17 years living in New York without a car and loved it and used public transportation every day. So, I think light rail is perhaps long-term the most significant public project that will really shape the future of this region, not just the city of Phoenix. And we really took the opportunity, because some aggressive leadership on the side of light rail, to put together a program where not just for Suns games, but for any event that happens at U.S. Airways Center, your ticket to that event is good for transportation to and from U.S. Airways Center on the night of the event or on the day of the event, and that's something that has been incredibly well received by our fans
and by light rail and by the community. Yeah. It's really amazing. And I'll bet a lot of people don't realize that the Suns actually manage the Suns or the UAC.
Right. I mean, the U.S. Airways Center is owned by the city of Phoenix, but we operate under a long-term management contract where we act as owners. We maintain the building, we book all the acts that are in there, and we're responsible for the financial performance of the building for the city of Phoenix, which actually has been a really bright spot in an otherwise kind of bleak economic picture, where it's really an asset that the people of Phoenix have that's a positive cash flow for the city.
And the Suns aren't the only team that you manage or own.
We own our women's team, the WNBA Phoenix Mercury, two-time world champion.
That's right.
Phoenix Mercury. and also the Arizona Rattlers, which we have owned in the past. We don't own right now, but we really have three teams that call U.S. Airways Center home, and some really important relationships out there with the Ringling Brothers Circus, the Disney ice shows that every year come and play U.S. Airways Center. It's really, the best of its kind, I think, when you look around the country and see what multipurpose facilities can do to bring sports entertainment to the people.
How does Phoenix compare? I mean, Phoenix isn't that large of a metro market, and yet we have two competing arenas. How does that stack up? Are they both as successful as they could be?
No, and bad public policy to build two completely competitive arenas within really 10 miles of each other. What that does really affects kind of the non-core businesses, the sports or the shows that are there every year. When promoters come into Phoenix, they can't wait to get here.
Must be great for a promoter.
Fabulous, because we fight for every event, as does jobbing.com. Arena, and because of that, we really take the economics out of the concert business because we're competing, and the pricing gets below what really you see anywhere else in the country. And what that means, it's not good for the area, because promoters here are able to take more money out of Phoenix than they are out of every other market. It's not more dollars left here, it's more money taken out of the market.
All right, so this summer, as a Suns fan, do we have to be wary of any big trades? A closing statement.
Well, the summer is going to be a really interesting one. As I'm sure you know, the NBA's collective bargaining agreement with its players expires June 30th. So what we don't know is a lot more than what we do know right now. We don't know what the rules of engagement are going to be, rules of employment between the teams and their players after June 30th. And until that's settled, we can't do anything.
Wow.
So we, along with the other 29 teams, are going to anxiously be waiting the conclusion of collective bargaining. And we're optimistic, though, that the system we'll have going forward is really going to allow markets like Phoenix to be very competitive, compete for a championship.
Good. Well, good luck with everything. Thanks for being here. Appreciate it.
Thanks.
All right. Coming up next, we'll focus on the 2nd Historic District in our ongoing series of highlighting the best of Central Phoenix. Stay tuned.